Alyssa Mercante is blaming all the YouTubers for the news of Kotaku Australia being shut down. Guys, we rejoiced, all right? We were like flies and dog shit. Seeing Kotaku Australia shut down is a sign of things to come, in my opinion. Now, again, I'm not in favor of people losing jobs, but when you think of how people like this young lady right here at that cocky, smirky face have been acting for the last few months or so, and you think of all the stuff that she's done on the internet to people, you can't help but think, hey, karma is coming to collect. So it was announced. It was announced just the other day that Australian affiliates for Vice, Gizmodo, Refinery 29, Kotaku, and Lifehacker will no longer be published in Australia. It's all part of a plan to restructure and cut costs for the Australian based Pedestrian Group, with dozens of jobs getting sliced in the process. We talked about this the other day on video from the Sydney Morning Herald, which reported it originally. And this is a article that came out just the other day, a late birthday present for me, where a lot of people aren't too happy. But the one person that is especially not happy, that lashed out at YouTubers, is everybody's favorite Kotaku editor-in-chief, Alyssa Mercante. Yeah, the same Alyssa that not even a week ago tried to call me an obsessive stalker creep that gets raging rock hard boners for her. Well, I do have a rock hard boner this time, because seeing you in an upset mood just makes me so happy, so hot and bothered. So you can see she was just unleashed the other day on this Twitter tirade, which we're going to talk about right here. And we'll also talk a little bit more about the Kotaku stuff in case you haven't seen enough of it. We can recap. So you can see she tweeted out, "Send in solidarity and love to the amazing writers at Kotaku Australia and all the other sites affected. You are all stars and deserved better. Capitalism is cruel. Your work remains always." Right. So wishing well wishes, but at the same time, she's insulting capitalism. Do these people not understand that maybe if they did their actual job, which is write about video games and write reviews and articles about video games instead of political agendas, because these aren't gaming journalists, guys. These are all political activists that are disguised as gaming journalists that like to use websites like Kotaku as their personal soapbox. We saw Alyssa Mercante's pathetic Elden Ring DLC review the other day, where she tried to make it about herself being a target of an endless harassment campaign for the last few months, and that, it just, God. And then, not to mention, just the other day, she did a review of The Acolyte, and it basically came down to horny men, not good. Horny Mercante, perfect. So she's just wacko when it comes to her articles, but all of her ilk, as she likes to call it, are all the same. Instead of writing about games and stuff, it has to be some kind of political narrative or social commentary that they're trying to establish in their writings. That's why Kotaku Australia is going down. Don't you ever stop to think for a minute that if it was actually making money, they would not be shutting down immediately and everybody having to look for their jobs? Sure, I'm sure there was great people that worked there that weren't wokeified as much as, I guess the managing editor, I think his name was David, who was just a fucking huge virtue signaler and called for hardware bans of people talking smack on voice chat when you could just push a mute button and report, right? Anyways, she goes on her little tirade saying, "The internet and the rats infesting it are even crueler, but a reminder, cheering for good people losing their jobs while men get rich off their labor is morally bankrupt." So there you go, attacking men. Remember, this is a girl that, even though she claims it's just a quote from the novel Animal Farm, she thinks all men are enemies. And this is that new modern feminist way of thinking, oh, pussy's in charge, pussy's, runs the world, and she just psychotic. The nose ring brigade is psychotic, and if you say anything against them, you're disgusting. Just like the other day, I gave my opinion on the dating pool, the adult dating pool, and I was some disgusting guy that didn't belong with his hands around children. Meanwhile, these guys are all for pride parades where people are pissing on each other in San Francisco, right? She's saying that all the internet and rats infesting it are even crueler. So that's insulting people like me or any of you guys that dare to even have a platform of putting videos out, writing articles, the grifters, as they like to call us, which means, hey, it's the people that are against the stuff that we want to push out there. They're out of our echo chamber, and it's time to cancel these guys. If you saw my banger tweet the other day, I couldn't even put it any perfectly. They call us grifters, and they think our audiences are a whole bunch of brain dead morons because they're listening to what we're saying, when in reality, they're the hateful ones, and they're the ones that want to cancel anybody that goes against the grain. But you can see she's literally saying we are a whole bunch of rats infested because we're basically happy that a website that pushes wokeness is getting eliminated. Now, it is wrong to cheer people losing their jobs, but that's a smaller point of the picture. The bigger point of the picture is, again, if Kotaku Australia was doing its job, they would still be here. And guess what? She's in a panic because Kotaku's in the targets now. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, wake me up when it's Alyssa Mercante getting fired. They are in the targets now, guys. Trust me. If they're starting to cut costs with the Kotaku name elsewhere, even if she's claiming they're not affiliated, it's still licensed with that name, and it's still going to be like a, hey, maybe we should look at the books of other stuff that's within that IP. Trust me, it's there. It's heading this way. Games journalists are all in a panic. That's why they're being insufferable as of late. They are afraid of their jobs because any grifter could put a camera and a webcam. She even says it herself here in a minute. Anybody could just spew their thoughts, and it drives them nuts. They hate it. That's why they want to censor us. That's why they want to take away websites. That's why they want to cancel free speech. These guys don't care about journalism. They're cosplaying as journalists. They want to be political activists deep down inside. And I hope whoever gets fired and loses their job lands on their feet, but hopefully they go to an area that maybe actual writing about political journalism, and that they're a little bit more, morally prepared for than actually trying to write about video games. It's so weird that they use video games as a medium to talk over politics. And for her to hate men just to say that men are getting rich off their labor and using that and being sexist with it, come on. Now, her other tweet down here, she says, and by the way, I hate that I even have to say this, but let's stop the reactionary ride before it gains speed. We're not affiliated with Kotaku Australia. We don't share anything except a love for games and good reporting. Have you seen the articles that Alyssa Mercante writes? She does anything but good reporting. And also, there it is again, she hates reactionary content creators. Remember, she wanted to give full hit pieces on Melanie Mack and Osmond Gold, reactionary content creators that gain popularity after going the right side of opinion and becoming grifters. Remember, she was planning that. She even at one point was tag teaming with a PlayStation PR representative to deplatform RGT85 because of his comments on Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah, people forget about that one. So, continuing her tirade, this is the one that I talked about last time, and this is the one that I think spoke volumes about the entire situation. She says, you have no idea what journalism is. Your websites look like they're from 2001. They're riddled with typos. You use yourselves as a source for stories. You have an internet connection and a webcam, and think you have something worthy to say. You don't. We could set my Nana up with a Razer Keo in her care home and she'd make more coherent shit. This is just her way of coping and seething that people that are anti-woke are making content and writing articles. She's obviously trying to talk smack about Smash JT's website and Kotaku Detected, which, if you guys remember, triggered her and Nick Calandra and all the Kotaku people to no end, to the point where they wanted to shut his website down because they thought it was targeting harassment. Never mind that these people have doxed and targeted, harassed people, that they have Twitter followers that try to find private information of people that are anti-woke. You look at all their Discord escapades, like what Nick Calandra had. These guys aren't innocent. Contacting people's wives, trying to stir the pot and instigate a fight between them. These people are not innocent. And if you find yourself trying to defend these guys or stick up for them just because you hate grums or because you're tired of anti-woke people, you're a fucking fool. At the end of the day, she's essentially saying this, that just because people have an internet connection and a webcam, they don't have anything worthy to say. She's literally saying nobody's opinion matters when she's saying this, except hers and her friends, because they push the woke agenda. That is literally what she's saying here. So your opinion doesn't matter. Mine doesn't matter. Anybody that goes against what she tries to push and promote as far as political narratives go, if we're pushing against that, if we're not in the echo chamber, we do not matter. And that's why she seethes so bad at all of us. That's why she starts so much shit, goes under protected tweets, rages daily. That's why she's mad about Kotaku Australia being gone. This lady is fucking nuts. She's so fucking nuts, she's knucking futs at this point, guys. Now, she did continue her Twitter tirade, which is absolutely golden. And what's funny about this is this woman, if I want to call her that, has the audacity to message people like Vera Dark saying, I suggest you stop talking about me in your videos and your tweets. It would be good for you. And she doesn't think that when she does nonsense like this, that nobody's going to talk about it and give her criticism. She feels that she's immune to it. She's probably one of the most thin-skinned people I've seen in my life, and it's outrageous the fact that she's an editor-in-chief anywhere with the lack of professionalism that she has. Now, she says it's a shame that private equity and Google have gutted legacy media sites, and the stupidest, cruelest people in the world are rushing to fill in the gaps. Well, guess what? I'm going to rush in to fill the gaps. And you know what? If you're wanting to save your job, if Kotaku is on the chopping block, these private equity groups and Google and whoever else is giving you guys any kind of like notoriety and money, they're going to see all of this stuff. They're going to see the videos about you and they're going to say, wow, that woman is a red flag. Let's get rid of her. What do you think happened to Frosk? At least she shut the fuck up once she became irrelevant. I don't know. You're probably one of the biggest narcissists I've seen in my life. Legacy media, you guys just continued to fail. Again, you guys weren't doing your job. That's why you failed. That's why gaming journalism is failing. That's why you guys have to block and make up stuff and play victim and prick and prod at people that are going against your grain. It's ridiculous. Oh, but the grifters do it. No, the grifters don't fucking try to attack anybody because of a difference of opinion. We're reactionary to what you're putting out there. If I recall, I didn't attack nobody and call them a pedo. But you, John Phipps, and Nick Calindra tried to all say that I was some creep. Right? Now, remember, this is what she supports. Literally, silence and smash JT's website, which Nick Calandra did after he got butthurt about it. And Smash JT took him off and left everybody else. And he was like, please take everyone off. This is what they resort to, guys. Reporting to Wix, which I'm glad this got overturned because I love that every day that it's up and every time somebody brand new is added onto it, oh, they just seethe. Makes my fucking boosie just get nice and juicy. So you see, she says, oops, website not detected. Huge shout out to Nick J. Cal, who reached out to Wix about the site and consistently followed up. Clearly, they're agreeing that he was engaged in targeted harassment, among other things. This is a great precedence, a great sign that there are people and places on the internet who know target harassment and cyberbullying when they see it. Well, guess what? Your celebration didn't happen too long, Toots, because you guys, if you try to do stuff out of spite, and anger and hatred, it never works out in the long run. I'm sorry, as I stutter all over myself, because this just didn't make any sense to me. Imagine being a journalist and being against free speech and being pro-censorship. This was the ultimate self-own. And again, you do stuff like this, you tweet stuff like this, you don't think that people aren't going to talk about it. This lady literally thinks that she's immune from having anybody talk about her tweeting stuff like this. And she coped and seethed, saying, you can keep your website, it helps me. You know damn well it hurts her so fucking much. And not too long after this, her and her sister got doxxed and websites were made with their private info and stuff. I don't condone doxing or posting private information, but it was so funny because right before that is when she was reaching out to Smash's wife. Nick Calandra was encouraging to contact employers and cut funding sources, which not too long ago they tried to contact my employer and try to paint me as a person that shouldn't be touching children. But when it happened to them, they freaked the fuck out. That's how they do it. Fucking cowards. Now, also just the other day, she reacted to this when Smash JT put that he had press passes to San Diego Comic-Con with a little thinking thing. And you know what this is, okay? Even if you don't directly say you're going to ban somebody, this is gaslighting your audience so that they can contact San Diego Comic-Con and try to say something about Smash JT. This is 100% gaslighting. And that's what these people do. They're all fucking chicken shit. You can see she does this, even though she didn't tag, goddamn well, people would respond, retweet, post, and do it themselves. I don't care what you say, whether you hate Smash JT or not. This is scumbag right here. Just hope San Diego Comic-Con is aware of how many press folks attended the con this man has harassed/slandered. Cry me a fucking river. If I was attending this year, I would have been appalled to walk into the press lounge and see the man who makes thumbnails of me and my colleagues' cleavage for his videos in which he calls us whores. Just saying. Meanwhile, you have free game on what you want to say about people, right? That's funny how it works. The self-proclaimed, touted slut, like she says. Remember, I'm good at my job. I'm slutty. Yeah, okay. Shut the fuck up. Continuing on, you could see clearly gaslighting. Anyway, if you're at San Diego Comic-Con and hear a voice that can only be described as a homophobic muppet, that's Jeff Tarza, and I'm sorry he was allowed in. Check his phone and count how many pictures of me he has saved, please. Total narcissist about herself. And she knew what she was doing on this. Again, she thinks she's free from any kind of clapback or criticism about this behavior. Now, let's even go a little bit further back to when she actually told people to fight her physically, bitch. And Vera Dark said, okay, let's set it up. She pussed out. A clip that lives in infamy.
I want people in the industry to be a little bit louder about...
And look at that fucking face. Like, you don't think that... Like, how could you be in the side of somebody so insufferable like this?
People being mean to other people. And maybe say it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe say, we don't want you around if you're...
That dude still has a bitching mustache, by the way.
You're going to be a cunt.
Yeah.
And hateful.
By the way, she still took the time out at Summer Game Fest to do this, to go beyond Frosk. This is like Frosk 4.0. Make a complete ass of herself for, again, to make herself the center of attention.
And that the games industry is diverse naturally.
No, it's not, which is why you need to have Sweet Baby Ink in your woke agendas and all of your articles.
Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid motherfucker. And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
And she literally said people were too much of pussies to follow up. Vera Dark said, let's set this up for charity. Let's do all this. Even Keemstar came on here. She was making an excuse saying no prize money, no streaming it, don't want your bigoted viewers. Again, thinking she's in the right in this with how insufferable she's acting. Coming in here saying, Happy Punch Happy set up the fight. She says, not giving you any money. Why would you get me money? You would earn this and I dislike you. Again, she had no intent of actually fighting anybody. She just wanted to try to trigger the male audience. And in the end, this just made her look like a complete idiot and an ass. And she tried to say she's not a rage peddler, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't farm engagement. She calls Vera soft. No, excuse me. If anybody's soft, it's you. And you can see her face, likeness, words, posts have been making grifters like you and Vera money for months. I will not help contribute to that with a fight that she could stream and earn money off of, as I won't make any money from it. You definitely can. You definitely could. You think putting stuff like this out here isn't giving us more content? I mean, this happened in June. I'm still talking about it and milking it. Literally. because you just can't help yourself. You're the gift that keeps me grifting. All right, the grift happens naturally, and yeah, you can see in the past she's called for people to be blacklisted, like Grums, and she's just encouraged people being taken down. And then just the other day, literally doing a veiled threat on Vera Dark, telling her, all I want is for you to keep my name out of your mouth and off your social media. I think it would be a smart move for you. Why? Because you can't handle the criticism and you're going to try to deplatform her? That's exactly why. You're a fucking snowflake. And just the other day, she tried to make this whole smear about me being some creep just because Smash came in saying he made a thumbnail with her underboob and I paused my game to go check it out. Don't flatter yourself, toots. Nobody's trying to get around a block. And this also encouraged Nick Calandra and John Phipps to try to get a lawyer to scare me after I made a video calling them out about it because my employment was contacted. These guys have no boundaries, guys. No professionalism at all. And that's why they're seething about Kotaku Australia being shut down, because they have nothing to fall back on except a legacy of looking like complete buffoons on the internet. So TikTok, Kotaku. There's no time left on the clock. Subscribe, guys, if you haven't. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.